Jack in the Box is closing up to 200 restaurants because of poor sales. More than 100 of those could come by the end of the year. The company is also trying to figure out what to do with Del Taco, the Mexican chain it bought 3 years ago. Jack in the Box has accumulated $300 million in debt. Like some other fast food chains, Jack in the Box has seen sales fall since the start of the year.
Picture this. A scrappy little taco stand pops up in the California desert back in 1964, grows into a beloved chain with hundreds of locations, and gets snapped up by a bigger fast food player for over $500 million. And that is what happened in the year 2022, only to be dumped just 3 years later for a fraction of that price. A staggering 80% loss. All while its biggest rival, Taco Bell, keeps expanding with thousands of stores nationwide, owning the Mexican fast food game. What happened to Del Taco? How did a brand with craveable tacos, fresh ingredients, and die-hard fans end up in such a steep decline? Today, we are breaking down the full story, from humble beginnings to corporate heartbreak. If you have ever crushed a Del Taco bean and cheese burrito at 2 a.m., or wondered why it never quite caught up to the big dog, stick around. This one's a wild, cautionary tale of fast food ambition gone wrong. It all started on the 16th of September, 1964, in the tiny desert town of Yermo, California, about 15 miles east of Barstow, right off the old Route 66. Ed Hapcorth, a former Air Force veteran, who'd cut his teeth working for an early Taco Bell precursor called Taco Tia, teamed up with David Jameson to open the very first location. They called it Casa del Taco. The menu was simple and extremely affordable, offering 19-cent tacos, 24-cent cheeseburgers, tostadas, and fries. Right from day one, they blended Mexican classics with American favorites. A unique fusion that would become Del Taco's signature. No fancy marketing, no massive corporate backing, just good, affordable food in a drive-thru world that was just starting to boom. By 1966, they formed Ready Food Systems to start franchising, and that iconic sun logo made its debut. In 1967, they added the bean and cheese burrito with your choice of green or red sauce. Growth was slow at first, but steady. This was a remarkable tale of perseverance in the nascent fast food industry, cultivating a devoted customer base one by one. The 1970s turned things up a notch. By 1977, there were 50 locations. By 1978, over 100. They dropped Casa from the name in 1973, officially becoming Del Taco, Inc. The real game changer came in 1988 with the merger of Naugles, another California-based Mexican chain, founded by Dick Naugles, who was actually an ex-partner from the early Del Taco days. This merger supercharged the brand, adding locations, menu ideas, and momentum. It pushed Del Taco into new territories and helped solidify its West Coast presence. But even with this boost, the chain stayed mostly regional, concentrated heavily in California and the surrounding states. National expansion, not yet on the radar in a big way. From the very beginning, Del Taco had a giant shadow hanging over it. Taco Bell. Founded just 2 years earlier in 1962 by Glenn Bell, Taco Bell started in the same Southern California scene, and these two were direct, unspoken rivals in the early taco wars of the 60s and 70s. Similar menus, similar prices, same customer base. They had wildly different trajectories. Taco Bell, backed first by PepsiCo and later by Yum Brands, had the resources to go national fast. Taco Bell leveraged massive marketing budgets, aggressive franchising, and consistently innovated menu items such as the Doritos Locos Taco and Crunchwrap Supreme. By the 1980s, Taco Bell had thousands of stores in every state. Del Taco? It hovered around 150 to 300 locations, almost all in the West. Sales told the story too. Taco Bell racked up billions annually, while Del Taco stayed in the hundreds of millions. Del Taco fought back with killer value menus, bigger portions, and that craveable burger taco hybrid. Think epic burritos or fresca bowls. But it never escaped being a regional player. Taco Bell owned the Mexican fast food category outright. Del Taco was always the scrappy number two, lacking the national scale, advertising muscle, and cultural dominance to truly compete. That foundational weakness, never quite getting the footing to go toe-to-toe, set the stage for everything that came later. The 1990s brought a refreshed logo, better customer experiences, and continued steady growth. By 1998, the company had approximately 325 stores. By the year 2000, the company had grown to approximately 372 stores. In some markets, per-store sales actually beat Taco Bell's, thanks to loyal fans loving the fresh grilled items, house-made guacamole, and unbeatable value. The 2000s and early 2010s pushed toward the modern peak. Nearly 500 locations by the year 2006 to the year 2008, then climbing towards 600 locations. The brand had a strong cult following. People swore by the Double Del cheeseburger or the classic tacos. But cracks were forming. Not only Taco Bell, but also Chipotle, Qdoba, and even burger giants were fiercely competing for market share. Economic pressures, rising food and labor costs, and that heavy reliance on California, where over 60% of stores sat, made the chain vulnerable. When California's fast food wages spiked and inflation hit hard, Del Taco felt it more than bigger, more diversified players. In March 2022, Jack in the Box acquired Del Taco for about $575 million to $585 million. The pitch was exciting. Combine two West Coast powerhouses into a mega QSR player with around 2,800 locations total. Synergies, like dual-brand restaurants, refranchising, remodels, and shared supply chains were supposed to fuel growth. At first, it looked promising, but the reality was brutal. Del Taco posted persistent same-store sales declines, negative for multiple quarters straight, with drops like 3% to 4% in key periods, driven by lower traffic despite some price increases. Post-pandemic slowdowns were severe, costs skyrocketed, particularly due to California's $20 minimum wage, and integration failed to yield the anticipated benefits. Some fans even complained about menu changes. Perceived smaller portions and higher prices eroded the Value King reputation. Jack in the Box itself was struggling with its own sales slumps and debt. So they launched the Jack on Track plan. Simplify operations, close underperforming stores, mostly Jack in the Box units, pay down debt, and shed non-core assets. Del Taco became expendable. By October 25th, Jack in the Box had announced they were selling Del Taco to Yadav Enterprises, a major franchisee already running hundreds of Jack in the Box, Denny's, Taco Cabana, and other spots, for just $115 million to $119 million. The deal resulted in a loss of approximately 80% on the original purchase price. The deal closed in December 2025, with operations shifting fully under Yadav by early 2026. As of 26, Del Taco operates approximately 600 locations, primarily in California, but also in the South and Midwest. It is mostly franchised now, and Yadav has brought in new leadership for a transformation push. New executives focused on operations, marketing, and supply chain to try and reignite growth. The brand survives, honoring its legacy of craveable Mexican-American food, but the national breakout dream? It feels further away than ever, overshadowed by Taco Bell's massive empire. Del Taco's story is equal parts inspiring and heartbreaking. Innovation from a desert stand, loyal fans who still say Del yeah, but missed opportunities to go truly national in a category Taco Bell dominated from the jump. Then came the corporate roller coaster, a $500 million bet that flopped spectacularly. Can Yadav Enterprises turn it around and bring back the glory days? Or is this the slow fade of a regional legend? Drop your thoughts in the comments. What is your all-time favorite Del Taco item? Did you ever pick it over Taco Bell? Smash that like if this hit the nostalgia spot. Subscribe for more fast food deep dives and breakdowns, and hit the bell so you do not miss the next one. Thanks for watching. Stay hungry out there.